You've just stepped through the main entrance of a massive casino. The wall of sound hits you first, the rhythmic chiming of 1,000 digital bells, and the low hum of collective ambition. Right there, perfectly framed in your primary line of sight, is a row of the flashiest, most high-tech machines you've ever seen. They're glowing like neon sirens, practically begging for your first $20 bill. Most players don't even make it 50 feet past the lobby before they re-sitting down, mesmerized by the 4K graphics and the vibrating haptic seats. But here's the part floor managers want you to realize. Those machines are often the gatekeepers of your bankroll. In casino design, high-traffic zones like entrances, elevator banks, and buffet lines are considered prime real estate. Because these areas have a constant, guaranteed stream of impulse players, the casino has very little incentive to set their return to player, or RTP, at a competitive level. They know someone will sit in that chair regardless of how the machine is performing. Internal reports often show that these convenience machines carry significantly lower payback settings than the games hidden in the back. I once watched a casual player burn through $100 in 10 minutes at a flashy entryway slot, completely unaware that an older planar version of that same game, tucked away in a quiet side corner, was set to a much more player-friendly payout tier. Treat the first 50 feet of the casino like a museum. Look, but don't touch. Your bankroll's best friend is depth. Walk past the initial spectacle and find the machines the casino doesn't expect you to find. But placement is only the first trick. What about those massive, multi-million-dollar brand name machines that look more like Hollywood movies than gambling devices? There's a reason those Blockbuster slots are often the biggest money sink on the floor. 2. The Hollywood brand trap. You've seen them everywhere. The massive towers themed after your favorite Netflix series, blockbuster superhero movies, or legendary rock bands. They feature high-definition clips, booming surround sound, and seats that shake when you hit a bonus. They feel premium, so you naturally assume the payouts are premium too. But a former slot director once told me that these machines are the most expensive real estate on the floor for the casino, and that cost is passed directly to you. Think about it. The casino has to pay massive licensing fees to the movie studios and celebrities just to use those images and music. That money doesn't come out of the casino's profit margin. It comes out of the machine's math. To maintain their bottom line, casinos often set these licensed titles to a lower payback percentage than the generic, in-house games like a basic fruit machine or a gold mine theme. You aren't just paying to gamble. You're paying for the ticket to a mini-movie. I've seen players sit at a Wizard of Oz or Wheel of Fortune cabinet for hours, mesmerized by the show, while their credits slowly evaporate. If you want entertainment, play the licensed slots. If you want to keep your bankroll alive, look for the boring machines with generic names. The less the casino spent on the branding, the more room they have in the math to pay you back. But there's one place where the math is even worse, a place where the odds are so bad, even the locals won't touch them. 3. The captive audience purgatory. If you're traveling into Las Vegas, your first temptation to gamble starts before you even leave the airport. You see those rows of flickering screens right next to the baggage claim. They look the same as the ones on the Strip, but don't be fooled. In the industry, these are known as captive audience machines. Whether it's an airport, a gas station, or a grocery store, these machines operate on a completely different logic than the ones inside a competitive resort. At a major casino, floor managers want you to stay for hours, buy drinks, and come back tomorrow. At the airport, they know you're either leaving or just arriving. You're a one-time customer. Because there is no repeat business incentive, these machines are often set to the absolute legal minimum payback allowed by the state. I've talked to technicians who confirmed that while a strip machine might pay back 90 to 92%, an airport slot might be hovering as low as 75 to 80%. It's effectively a convenience tax on your impatience. You're essentially paying a premium just because the machine is there. Keep your wallet in your pocket until you get to your hotel. Playing at the airport is the fastest way to lose your gambling budget before your vacation even officially begins. However, even inside the big resorts, there's a specific type of machine that attracts millions of players every day with the promise of a life-changing fortune. But the reality of that dream is much darker than it looks. 4. The progressive jackpot illusion. We all see those giant digital meters above the machines, the numbers ticking up by the second, promising $10 million or more. These wide-area progressives are linked across the entire state, and they are the ultimate siren song for the casual gambler. But here is the secret ex-workers know. That giant jackpot isn't free money. It's funded by every single spin made by every player on that network. Because a portion of every dollar you bet goes directly toward building that massive top prize, the base game. The small wins you need to keep playing is significantly weakened. On a standard machine, you might hit frequent $20 or $50 wins to keep your momentum going. On a massive progressive, those small wins are rarer because the machine is saving its energy for a jackpot that you have a 1 in several million chance of hitting. I once saw a man spend an entire afternoon on a megabucks machine. He didn't hit a single winning combination over $10 because the volatility was tuned so high. If you're going to play a progressive, set a dream limit, maybe $20, and then move on to a flat-top machine, one with a fixed jackpot. Flat-top machines don't have to tax your spins to fund a multi-state pool. But if you think you're being safe by sticking to the cheap machines, you might be falling for the most successful psychological trap in casino history. 5. The penny slot paradox. The term penny slot is the most brilliant piece of marketing the gambling industry ever conceived. It sounds harmless, right? It implies you can spend a whole evening playing for the change in your cup holder. But if you look closely at the max bet button on a modern penny machine, you'll often see numbers like $3, $5, or even $10 per spin. In reality, penny slots are often the most expensive games on the floor. Because they have so many lines, sometimes 50 or 100, you have to bet more just to see a return. More importantly, from a mathematical standpoint, penny slots almost always have the lowest payback percentages in the building. High-limit rooms with $5 or $25 machines might pay back 95%, but the penny floor is where the casino makes its bread and butter by setting returns as low as 88%. You are betting more frequently, losing faster, and getting a worse rate of return, all while feeling like you're playing a cheap game. I've watched countless people ignore the $1 machines, thinking they were too expensive, only to spend twice as much per minute on a penny game. Check your cost per spin, not the denomination of the machine. You're often better off playing 2 credits on a quarter machine than 200 credits on a penny machine. Speaking of quarters and dollars, many players think they can outsmart the machine by choosing games that involve a bit of strategy. But is it really strategy, or just another layer of the trap? 6. The video poker mirage. Video poker is often hailed as the thinking man's slot machine. Unlike a standard slot, where you just pull a lever and hope, video poker gives you a hand of cards and lets you choose what to hold. Because there's an element of skill, many players believe the casino can't tighten these machines. But ex-casino workers will tell you to look at the pay table, not the screen. The secret is in the full house and flush payouts. A 9-6 machine, paying 9 credits for a full house and 6 for a flush, offers a great return, often over 99% with perfect play. However, casinos frequently swap these out for 8/5 foot or even 7/5 foot tables without changing the graphics on the machine. To the untrained eye, it's the same game. To your bankroll, it's a death sentence. I once watched a pro player complain about a machine being rigged, when the reality was he just hadn't checked the pay table. He was playing a version designed to drain him 2% faster than the one 10 feet away. Always check the payout for the full house and the flush before you sit down. If it isn't at least 9 for the full house and 6 for the flush, keep walking. But what happens when a machine is brand new? There is a long-standing rumor that new machines are set to pay out to attract a crowd. Let's look at the truth behind that. 7. The new machine honeymoon myth. You'll often hear regulars say, "Go play that new dragon game. They always set the new ones to be loose so people get hooked." It sounds logical from a marketing perspective. If a machine pays out early, you'll tell your friends, and a crowd will form. While it's true that casinos want a crowd, they don't actually change the math for the first week of a machine's life. The reality is that new machines are often placed in high-visibility trial areas. If a machine doesn't perform well, meaning if it doesn't make enough money for the casino, it gets removed. Because of this, the new games are often set to a standard, middle-of-the-road RTP. The reason people think they pay more is simply because more people are playing them. More play equals more frequent jackpot sounds echoing through the aisle, creating an illusion of winning. I've seen floor managers laugh at the honeymoon theory. They don't need to make the machine loose if the flashy new lights are already doing the work of bringing people in. Don't rush to the newest machine just because it's shiny. Often, the older, ugly machines that have survived on the floor for 5 years are the ones with the most consistent, player-friendly math. And if you think a machine's location is just about where it fits on the carpet, you haven't considered the wait time trap. 8. The wait time trap. Have you ever noticed a row of slots placed right outside a popular steakhouse, or perhaps lining the hallway toward the restrooms? These are what insiders call secondary play zones. The casino knows you aren't there to gamble. You're there to eat or take a break. But they also know that waiting time is wasted money. These machines are strategically placed to catch the person waiting 10 minutes for a table or the spouse waiting for their partner. Because the casino knows you only have a few minutes, they don't expect you to become a loyal player of that specific machine. Consequently, these machines are rarely the ones with the best odds. They are meant to be a quick credit vacuum. I've seen people lose $40 in the time it took for the hostess to buzz their pager, simply because they sat at the most convenient machine instead of the most profitable one. If you're waiting for something, stand up or sit at the bar. Never kill time at a slot machine located in a transition zone, the restrooms, the buffet line, or the valet stand. Those machines are there to capitalize on your boredom. But what about the feeling that a machine is due? That psychological pull is the strongest weapon the casino has, and it's all based on a very specific type of programming. 9. The near-miss programming. We've all been there. The first 2 symbols land perfectly on the line, and the third one stops just a fraction of an inch too high. Your heart jumps. You think, I was so close. It's going to hit any second now. This is not an accident. It is a carefully engineered psychological tactic known as near-miss programming. Under Nevada law, a machine cannot falsely represent where the reels stop, but they can use a virtual map that makes blank spaces right above or below a winning symbol appear more frequently than other blanks. This creates the illusion that you are close to a win, even though every spin is a completely independent event determined by a random number generator. The machine isn't due, and it didn't almost hit. It was a loss, just like any other, but your brain processed it as a pre-win. This is what keeps people in their seats for hours longer than they intended. Remind yourself that a near miss is mathematically the same as a total miss. If you find yourself getting emotional or chasing a symbol that keeps appearing just off the line, it's time to walk away. The machine is playing your brain, not your luck. This illusion of control is even more prevalent in those flashy multi-game terminals that seem to offer you everything at once. 10. The multi-game terminal credit vacuum. Multi-game terminals, the ones that let you switch between Keno, blackjack, and half a dozen different slots, are the ultimate convenience. They're like a vending machine for gambling. But in the casino world, convenience has a high price tag. These machines are designed to be all-in-one earners for the casino, which means they often have a higher household than a dedicated machine. If you play blackjack on a multi-game screen, you're often playing with a worse shuffle or rule set than you'd find at a real table. If you play Keno, you're playing one of the highest house edge games in existence. By putting them all on one screen, the casino increases the velocity of your play. You don't have to get up to find a new game, so you never have that natural break that allows your brain to realize how much you've spent. I've seen players jump from a slot to Keno to poker all on the same screen, losing their bankroll 3 times faster than if they had just stayed on one dedicated game. Avoid jack of all trades machines. If you want to play poker, find a dedicated poker machine. If you want slots, find a dedicated cabinet. Specialized machines generally offer better odds than all-in-one terminals. And while we're talking about dedicated machines, we have to address the high volatility monsters that can either double your money in a minute or leave you with zero in 30 seconds. 11. The volatility monsters. There are certain machines that ex-employees call bankroll eaters. You probably know them by their names: Buffalo, Dragon Link, or Lightning Link. These are high volatility games. They are programmed for the big win experience, featuring hold and spin, bonuses that look incredible when they trigger. But there is a hidden cost to that excitement. To pay for those massive grand and major jackpots, these machines have to go through incredibly long dry spells. You might go 50 or 60 spins without a single winning combination. This is designed to test your patience and your pocketbook. Most casual players don't have a large enough bankroll to survive the dry spell to get to the bonus. They end up feeding the machine for 20 minutes, running out of money, and then watching the next person sit down and hit the bonus. It feels like the machine was ready, but really, you just did the heavy lifting of funding the next payout. Only play high volatility games if you have a deep bankroll, at least 100x your bet size. If you're on a budget, stick to low volatility classic slots where the wins are smaller but much more frequent. But even if you choose the right machine, the casino is still watching you, not through the cameras, but through that little plastic card you put in the slot. 12. The loyalty card algorithmic eye. The Players Club card is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it gets you free meals and hotel rooms. On the other, it gives the casino a perfect data map of exactly how you play. There is a common myth that putting your card in the machine tightens it up. That's not true. The math of the machine is set in the software and doesn't change based on who is playing. However, the casino uses your data to determine your theoretical loss. They know exactly how much they expect to win from you over time. If the algorithm sees that you're up for the day, they might stop sending you those instant win offers or free play bonuses to entice you to stay longer. Conversely, if the data shows you're losing quickly, they might send a host over with a buffet pass just to keep you on the property. They aren't changing the machine. They are changing your behavior. I've seen hosts accidentally interrupt a winning streak just by striking up a conversation, breaking the player's rhythm and causing them to leave earlier or bet differently. Use the card for the perks, but don't let the comps dictate your play. If you're winning, don't feel like you owe it to the casino to stay and play through your profit just to earn more points. So with all these traps, how do the pros actually find the machines that pay? It all comes down to floor management secrets. 13. Spotting the loose sightlines. If a casino worker wanted to play, they wouldn't look for the brightest lights. They would look for the winner's circle sightlines. Casino floor managers want people to see other people winning. It's the best advertisement they have. Therefore, the looser machines, the ones with the slightly higher payback percentages, are often placed in locations where a win will be noticed by the most people. Look for machines near the cross aisles, the intersections of the casino floor where people are walking to the theater or the elevators. Look for machines that are visible from the pit, the table games area. When a slot player hits a jackpot and the bells go off, the casino wants the people at the blackjack tables to hear it and think, maybe I should try my luck over there. I've seen floor maps where the machines in the dark, isolated corners have significantly lower RTP settings because no one is there to witness a win anyway. Look for the machines that are in promoted but not impulse locations. Avoid the entrance, but look for the machines that are highly visible to people already sitting at other games or walking through the main aisles. Now that you know how the floor is built to take your money, let's talk about the only way to truly win in the long run: the pro mindset. The biggest secret ex-casino workers will ever tell you is this: the house always has an edge, but you have the power of the exit. The casino is designed to be a closed loop, no clocks, no windows, and a carpet pattern that leads you back toward the games. Their goal is to turn your win into a temporary loan that you eventually pay back with interest. To play like a pro, you have to change your definition of winning. If you go into a casino expecting to pay for your mortgage, you've already lost. But if you go in with a set budget, treat it as the cost of a show, and walk away the moment you hit a decent win, you've beaten the system. I've seen people turn $20 into $500 and then give it all back because they thought they were on a roll. A roll is just a statistical anomaly. The only real money is the money you take out of the building. Set a win goal alongside your loss limit. If you double your money, put your original investment in your pocket and only play with the house money. When that's gone, you're done. You'll leave with your dignity, your dinner money, and the satisfaction of knowing the traps didn't catch you this time. Thanks for watching Casino Pro. Play smart, stay sharp, and we'll see you in the next one.